If sustaining a moderate calorie deficit is fat loss priority number one, and ensuring that we consume sufficient protein is fat loss priority number two, then prioritizing healthy foods over junk foods has to be fat loss priority number three. Why? Excellent question. Let's talk about calorie quality. First things first, let's be clear. Provided we are in a calorie deficit, i.e. providing we are eating fewer calories than our body needs, then on paper, no matter what we are eating, we will still burn fat. Whether we're eating 100% healthy foods, 100% junk foods, or 100% cat food, it really doesn't matter. Being in a calorie deficit is all that matters. A calorie deficit is king. And that's just science. It's irrefutable. It's calories in versus calories out. It is the law of thermodynamics. The headline: as a unit of energy, a calorie is a calorie, regardless of where it came from. However, we know it's not that simple. We know that 1,000 calories from fresh fish and seasonal vegetables comes with way more health benefits than, say, 1,000 calories from candy floss and fizzy drinks. In other words, we know that calories are not created equal. So yes, whilst sure, a calorie is indeed a calorie, clearly some calories come with more health benefits than others. And above all, it's our desire to acquire these benefits, i.e. to promote good health, that explains the thinking behind this third objective. But what exactly is good health? I'm talking about improved energy levels, improved sleep, improved digestion, improved mental health, a stronger immune system, improved performance. The list goes on and on. Where a diet rich in high quality, aka healthy foods, promotes good health and promotes these benefits, a diet rich in low quality, aka junk foods, does not. It does the opposite. Make no mistake, eating mainly healthy foods means improved health. And improved health means an improved quality of life. And an improved quality of life means a more enjoyable, a more sustainable fat loss journey. But health promotion isn't the only argument for prioritizing healthy foods. Prioritizing healthy foods over junk foods is also good news for our calorie budget. How so? Well, firstly, healthy foods typically contain more fiber, which fills us up, which keeps us full, which reduces our hunger, which reduces the likelihood of us snacking in between meals, and thus ultimately which helps us reduce our overall calorie intake, a win for our budget. Secondly, whilst, as we've seen, healthy foods might not be the underpinning mechanism for fat loss, because as we know, a calorie deficit is, healthy foods are typically lower in calories compared to junk food. Sure, there are exceptions. There are calorific health foods, particularly healthy fats like avocados or oils or nuts or nut butters. And of course, there are low-calorie junk foods like zero-calorie sodas or jelly, for example. And yes, being able to identify these exceptions is valuable. However, fundamentally, gram for gram, naturally occurring healthy food like lean proteins, whole grains, fruit, vegetables, they are almost always lower in calories compared to processed or junk food alternatives. So, since healthy foods are good news for both our health and our calorie budget, cleaning up our diet is a simple and effective way to make our fat loss journey easier. Much easier. Above all, an improved quality of life, and the confidence that we can boss our budget will help keep our strategy sustainable. For this reason, prioritizing healthy foods over junk food has to be the bedrock of any successful fat loss strategy. So what do I mean by prioritizing healthy foods? Well, personally, I love the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule states that providing we spend 80% of our budget on healthy food, we can, if we so choose, allow ourselves flexibility in the remaining 20% for more indulgent foods like junk food or alcohol. The 80-20 rule allows us to reap the rewards of a diet rich in high quality foods. But at the same time, it ensures that our plan is flexible enough to accommodate indulgences, which are often important when it comes to our holistic well-being. They can have huge psychological benefits. The 80-20 rule provides us with a model to help us enjoy indulgent foods in moderation. And guys, being able to enjoy junk food, alcohol in moderation is key. It can be the difference between a sustainable strategy and one that falls to pieces every time we have a pint of beer or look at a cookie. Now, to finish, the big question: how on earth do we identify whether our food is healthy, aka whole food, versus whether our food is junk, aka processed or refined foods? Now, whilst calorie quality is rarely black and white, a good place to start is by asking ourselves the following two questions. Number one, what did my food look like in its natural state? And number two, how closely does my food resemble this natural state? The closer our food is to its natural state, i.e. the closer it appears to how it exists in nature, the healthier it is, e.g. an apple. Conversely, the further our food has departed from its natural state, the more refined or the more processed it is, e.g. an apple-flavoured jelly baby. In this way, our food sits on a spectrum, with refined foods at one end and whole foods at the other. To give you an idea of which foods fit where in the spectrum, if we're talking about refined foods, then we're probably talking about, number one, trans fats, e.g. deep fried fast food, crisps, biscuits, cakes, pies, pastries, donuts, margarine. Or number two, refined carbs, e.g. refined grains like white rice, white bread, white pasta, white flour, or low quality microwave meals. Or perhaps number three, sugary carbs, e.g. sugary breakfast cereals, fizzy drinks, sugary yogurts, sweets, candy. Remember, these don't need to be avoided. They just need to be enjoyed in moderation. They need to be the exception and not the rule. And if we're talking about whole foods, then probably more often than not, we're talking about one of the following: saturated fats. Although, to be fair, this one is fairly controversial. Saturated fats include fatty beef mince, lamb, pork, dairy, coconut oil. Number two, lean protein, such as chicken, turkey, lean beef mince, tuna, prawns. Or number three, whole grains, such as whole grain rice, whole grain pasta, whole grain bread, whole grain flour. Unsaturated fats, e.g. avocado, oily fish, nuts, nut butters, and finally, fresh fruit and veg, the wholest of the whole. Basically, anything that's fallen from a tree or grown from a plant. Guys, I hope this talk about calorie quality was useful. To learn more about fat loss nutrition, fat loss training, and fat loss mindset, and also how to track your progress effectively, check out my website at gymhippie.co.uk. Until next time, stay awesome and keep going.